Linda Luan, Town Clerk, I call this meeting to order. I'd like to introduce Roland Tuss, Chairman of our Select Board.
Good evening, welcome to the town meeting. Not before we started our budget deliberations, I spent a couple minutes just thinking back at what the town's accomplished in the last year. It's been a lot, and very busy. The administrative department was able to fill most personnel openings within a reasonable amount of time. But, public service announcement, they are still looking for a deputy public works director and some police officers, so apply on that, please. Assessing department maintained 100% certified assessment ratio for the year. Yeah. Finance department, they successfully retained an audit, which apparently is a very difficult feat nowadays. And we also passed our audit again. Good job. Onto the fire department, they attained the safe certification for the year. The police department, a gentleman woman that you may have heard saved the life of a squatted individual on their meeting bridge. Good job. Public safety, fire and police, rescue. Also, work with other departments to host a successful evening. National Night, our last August. Excuse me, our last August for about 300 attendees. The planning group completed the second draft of Greek code and produced a workshop to gather public feedback throughout the year. Parks and Rec department continued to support the community center committee in its evaluation process. The public works team completed the Meadow culvert and they paved the Thompson Fair Mall Road and relined it. Town Clerk's department survived another presidential election with no issues. And finally, our solid waste department, they're going through an RFP process to transition to Maine, which will allow us to recycle more types of plastic and waste, which isn't recycled and will be burned to produce energy rather than being landfill. Great job, everybody. Glad to have you on everything.
I will now read the invocation. We are gathered here together in a civil assembly. We gather as a community from the oldest sense of the word. We gather together to try to make decisions about what we think is right and about what we think is wrong. Let us advocate for our constituents, but never at the expense of others. Let us remember that there is an immense gap between saying, I think I am right and I am right. Let us always remember that our neighbors, with whom we might disagree at town meeting, are good people with hopes and dreams as true and as high as our own. Let us not forget the citizens who have served our town in the past, as well as those who are serving it today. Most importantly, let us all remember that in the end, caring for each other and our community is of far greater importance than any differences we may have at town meeting. Greetings. You are hereby required in the name of the state of Maine to notify and warn the inhabitants of the town of Topsham qualified to vote on town affairs to assemble at the Mount Airy High School Forum Room on Wednesday, the 28th day of May, 2025 AD at 7:00 p.m. in the evening, with a backup date on Thursday, the 29th, and then and there to act on Articles 1 through 25 to wit. We will now act on Article 1. Choose a moderator to preside at this meeting. Do I have a motion to nominate the moderator?
So moved, Mr. Lloyd.
Do I have a second? Second. John Lloyd has been nominated as moderator. It has been moved and seconded. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations cease. We will now ballot for the moderator. Amanda's going to pass out 3 ballots. Voting closed. I have 3 ballots cast for John Lloyd. I declare John Williams moderator. You, John Lawrence, swear to support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, so long as you continue as citizen thereof. I do. Will you faithfully discharge to the best of your abilities the duties incumbent on you as a moderator, according to the Constitution, the laws of the state of Maine, and the ordinances of the town of Topsham, so help us God.
Good evening. So you all know what this is, right? It has an on and off switch, and you can also silent it, so do one of those two things, please. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance. Please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you. Everybody, Rockwood will give us a opening prayer.
I say thank you for giving me this privilege of being before you tonight. Some of you may not know me. My name is Mark Rockwood. I'm the pastor of Berean Baptist Church in Brunswick, but I'm the Brunswick Topsham Police and Fire Chaplain. And I have had the privilege of working alongside Town Manager Mark Waltz when he was a commander at Brunswick, and Jeff Emerson when he was the Deputy Fire Chief. And I am just blessed to be part of these groups, and I just can't commend them enough. You have some great departments here who really take care of your community, so you need to recognize our police and fire departments. So thank you for that. Let's start with the Lord in prayer. Lord, as we gather here tonight, we want to thank you for the beauty of this day, and you watch care over us as a town, as a state, and as a nation. Just a couple of days ago, we recognized those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms we hold so dear. So may we build here tonight upon those ideals for which they died, and so that their sacrifices will never be in vain. I want to thank you for all who put in the hard work to get us here to this day, and for the matters that will be discussed. May we show them the gratitude they deserve, regardless of what side of the issue we stand. May we use our words to lift up one another and to encourage participation to bring about resolve. Lord, as we meet to discuss the business at hand, let us treat one another with respect and dignity. Though we may have different opinions, help us to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. After all, we are neighbors and desire to see the town of Topsham be a wonderful place to raise our families and provide a place for our businesses to thrive and in our community. And so, Lord, we ask for your wisdom, for your guidance, for just the knowledge of how to proceed, and that, Lord, in all things, you would be honored. And I ask this in your holy name. Amen.
So just a few housekeeping items. To start with, I'd entertain a motion to allow any non-Topsham voters or employees of the town or consultants of the town to be permitted to speak to this body. It requires a 2/3 vote. Rather than do it each time, it's easier if we just vote to let those folks speak. I need a motion to that effect, please. Is there a second? Then moved and seconded. All those in favor of letting those folks speak? Good, thank you. So we have 25 articles on the warrant. Most of them are money articles. I'm going to read each article. I'll ask for a motion. I'll ask for a second to the motion. I'll ask whether any of the members of the select board or the relevant committee wishes to speak to the article. And then after that, it's open for you folks to approach the mic. There are two down here in front. and address the article. I ask you to kind of think about your remarks ahead of time, so that they're kind of organized, and so you don't have to come up multiple times. It'd be nice if you could come up once, say your piece, and then that would be it. Topsham has always been one of the great, in my mind, towns, because everything is very civil, and that's always been the character of town meeting here. And so to keep it that way, when you address an article from the mic, address it to comments to the moderator. If there's a question, then I'm not gonna answer it, but I'll find someone who can. But I don't wanna get a dialogue between voters over a particular article. If an article is amendable, and I'll determine, let you know whether it is or it isn't. I'll need a motion to make an amendment. I'd like the motion to be made and then seconded. When that happens, then we don't talk about the article in chief, we address the amendment. And when that's been aired, we vote on the amendment. If the amendment passes, then I'll read the article as amended, and we'll continue. If the amendment fails, then we go back to the article as printed in the warrant, as originally read, and move on from there. So, that being the case, we'll proceed to. Not at all. Oh, by the way, so you each got a card when you went through the checked in. So when you vote, I'd like you to vote by displaying your card. If it's a close vote, that is, I can't detect whether the yeas or the nays, we'll do a standing vote. I'll call for all those in favor to stand, remain standing, display your card. I'll count the votes and then I just seated, and the nays will go through the same process. I'll just stand, display the card, I'll count them, and then I'll let you know, talk to the clerk, let you know how many votes were yes, how many votes were no, and whether it prevailed or failed. So. Bear with me, the print is very small. Article 2. To see if the town will ratify the change to allow the select board by a 2/3 majority to waive the interest penalty on property taxes for up to 6 months beyond the due date during a declared state of emergency within the past 6 months. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. It moved to second. Any questions or comments from the select board or town committee? Being none, any questions or comments addressing this article from the voters? Being none, we'll proceed to vote on Article 2. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? Article 2 passes. Article 3. To have the town vote to raise, appropriate, and spend the sum of $200,255 for debt service. Is there a motion?
So moved in the amount of $200,255.
Is there a second? Second. Moved and seconded. Any comments from the select board or the relevant committee? Any questions or comments addressing this article from the voters? Being none, I'll have you vote on Article 3. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? It passes. Article 4. To see what sum the town will vote to spend for general government under the account set forth in the warrant, and to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the same, and to authorize the select board to transfer funds from municipal insurance to departments outside of general government for anticipated employee wage and benefit adjustments. Is there a motion?
So moved in the amount of $4,877,866.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. They move it second. Any comments from the select board or the relevant committee? Being none, questions or comments addressing Article 4 for the voters? Yes, sir. Oh, I forgot to ask, when you approach the mic, please state your name, thank you.
On Forsyth Road. I'm curious why Mr. Moderator, why the insurance, municipal insurance is more than double. And, I'm assuming sports association. I think, I'm just curious whether there was a particular reason.
Your question's been anticipated.
It has. This year, all of our union contracts were up. It kind of ties our hands in the union negotiations if they know what we have to spend in advance. So traditionally, that's the line where we put the money aside for the union negotiations, or some of it's for wages for others, that aren't from the union, but would be need raised after the union contracts. Our insurances did go up some, probably 5 to 8%, but the rest of that is money for wage adjustments as a result of union negotiation.
Thank you. Are there other questions or comments addressing this article? Big gun, I'll have you vote on this article, please. Vote yes by raising your cards. Those opposed? Article 4 passes. Article 5. To see what sum the town will vote to spend for the capital projects fund under the account set forth in the warrant, and to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the same. Is there a motion?
So moved in the amount of $1,915,000.
And is there a second? Moved and seconded. Any comments from the select board or relevant committee? Hearing none. Any questions or comments addressing Article 5 from the voters? Being none, you could vote on Article 5. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? Article 5 passes. Article 6. To see what sum the town will vote to spend for public safety under the accounts set forth in the warrant, and to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the same. We have a motion.
So moved in the amount of $4,705,854,000.
Is there a second? Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from the select board or the relevant committee?
You want me to read?
Yeah.
He wants me to read the number again.
Oh, please. We're gonna read the number again. So let's just,
$4,705,854.
thank you. Is there a second for that? Just go through the process here. Good. Moving second. Any comments from the select board or relevant committee? Any questions or comments addressing Article 6 from the voters? There being none, you could vote on Article 6. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? Article 6 passes. Article 7. To see what sum the town will vote to spend for public works and solid waste recycling under the account set forth in the warrant, and to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the same. Whereas the Public Works Department is authorized to spend funds from this article in support of capital projects. Is there a motion?
So moved in the amount of $2,422,536.
Thank you. Is there a second? Move to second. Any comments addressing this article from the select board or relevant committee? Questions or comments addressing Article 7 from the voters? See the vote. All those in favor of Article 7, please raise your cards. Those opposed? 7 passes. Article 8. See if the town will vote to adopt the proposed 2025 climate action plan. A copy of the plan is available on the town's website, or by contacting the town clerk, and I think. Is that? Yes. Copies of the plan are over here. Each home. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Been moved. Is there a second? Second. Any comments from the select board, or relevant committee? Questions or comments addressing this article from the voters? By all means.
Nick Watley,
You're gonna have to kind of bend over.
Nick Watley from Cadence Road, Topsham. So I'm a member of the Energy Committee and I need to read this, but I'm gonna read it anyway. The climate action plan update was written over the last year and a half with substantial and meaningful input from many people. We've done our best to combine our expertise in renewable energy with thinking from interested citizens. As co-chair of the Energy Committee, as well as founder of Morningstar Stone and Tile, I understand the need to make well-researched and financially responsible investments with a solid return on investments. In 2019, Morningstar installed 505 solar panels on our roof. We now produce 95% of the electricity used in the business. We're able to pay this off in 40 years and we've realized over $100,000 in savings so far. So I asked you to take a look around Topsham. There's a reason why you are seeing solar at Highland Green, Lee Toyota, Goodwin's Volvo, Lee Nissan, Wicked Joe Coffee, and Target, to name a few. Renewable energy is a proven business investment strategy. Over the years, the Energy Committee has assisted the town in several projects. The solar power purchase agreement secured a fixed low electric rate powered by a solar farm in Scout Beacon. The streetlights were changed over to LED. An EV charging station was installed at the library, and the solar zoning ordinance sought to protect land with high conservation value and return a fee to the town for solar development. I can assure you that there are many things in this plan that can be implemented that will return savings to the town of Topsham. We have received great assistance in writing this plan because guys a lot of our town plan, but otherwise we never asked the town for $6.99. In the implementation of this plan, we intend to research the benefits and potential return on investment for the various items in the action matrix, which you can find over there. Any project that looks promising will be presented to the select board with the intention of creating better preparedness, a healthier environment, as well as monetary savings to the town of Topsham.
Thank you. Would anyone care to address this article? There being none, take the vote on the article. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? Article 8 passes. Article 9. Shall an ordinance be enacted to amend the town code, chapter 225, attachment 2, table of dimensional requirements, as set forth in the warrant? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? One second. Any comments from the select board, relevant committee? Questions or comments addressing Article 9 from the voters? Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm not a voter. I'm Sky Slotting, the director of planning, but the town manager wanted me to, I think, address this one, and if I can be so bold to address the other zoning amendments at the same time, so I don't have to get up again. I just wanted to let you all know that we made some changes this year that we're putting before you, to amend maximum impervious coverage requirements to allow single family and duplex homeowners to not have to adhere to those requirements. They were creating a burden for them, and we don't really see that type of individual trying to wholesale pave their entire lot. So the planning board and I worked together on that, and that's what you see the changes in the table of dimensional requirements. Those are about that. As we were going through this, we also found a couple other areas where we needed to update language for compliance and just clarification. So you'll also see that in the following ones where we're just either changing a word to make it fit with the maximum impervious coverage requirement better, or in a couple articles, you'll see something about stormwater management. And this was just somewhere that we realized the language needed to be clarified. If anyone has specific questions about these later articles, I can come down and speak about them, but I wanted to give you just a quick overview. I would consider these fixes, nothing very large happening here. Just trying to make things easier for people that have a home and want to install a shed or put a patio in. But keeping the requirements that the town of Topsham voted last year, for those who are industrial, commercial, or large scale multifamily developments, so that they are not able to pave their entire lot per zoning requirements. So, thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else care to address this article? We'll proceed to vote on Article 9. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? 9 passes. Article 10. Shall an ordinance be enacted to amend town code, chapter 225-60.2, planned residential development to replace maximum lot coverage with maximum impervious coverage? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved, is there a second? Second. Moved second. To remind you that the actual text is printed in the law. Any comments from the select board or development committee? Questions or comments addressing Article 10 to the voters? It's time to vote. All those in favor of Article 10, please raise your cards. Those opposed? Article 10 passes. Article 11. Shall an ordinance be enacted to amend the town code, chapter 225-60.4, planned commercial development to replace minimum landscape and maximum floor area ratios with maximum impervious coverage? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Yes, been moved and seconded. Any comments from the select board or the development committee? Questions or comments addressing Article 11 from the voters? We'll vote on Article 11. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? Article 11 passes. Article 12. Shall an ordinance be enacted to amend the town code, chapter 225-34, stormwater management, to clarify applicability to development subject to site plan review? Is there a motion?
So moved.
The move, is there a second? Move and second. Again, the text is in the law. Is any comments from the select board or relevant committee? Questions or comments addressing Article 12 from the voters? Being none, we'll proceed to vote on Article 12. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? Article 12 passes. I know this is a kiss of death. We're moving right along. Article 13. To see if the voters will vote to accept a portion of King Road, tax map U23, lot 75-ROW, from the intersection with Shady Lane to the intersection with Hemlock Drive as a public town way as recommended by the planning board. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? They move in second. Any comments from the, yes, sir.
This road was built as part of the Fairview Commons Affordable Housing Complex. We have had the road, or as part of the process, the road was inspected by the town engineer as well as the public works director. Both have said that it meets town standards, and by accepting this road, it means that the housing complex won't have to plow it, which makes it that much easier for them to keep their budget to the affordable housing complex.
If anyone else care to address this, select board or committee? Questions or comments addressing this article from the voters? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote on Article 13. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? Article 13 passes. Article 14. Shall an ordinance be enacted to amend town code, chapter 179-8, subsection B, to prohibit delivery of recyclables in manners that will not allow the sort quality to be monitored satisfactorily? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Any comments from the select board or the relevant committees?
Solid Waste Director Karen.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Ed Karen, Solid Waste Director, 56 Karen's Corner. Basically what this is with our new contract with Maine, we can be penalized for, not having a clean load of material. Right now, currently, everything comes in the transfer stations handpicked by our crew, so that we have the cleanest possible recipe, if you will, for those who are recycling. We want to make sure it's getting recycled. And part of the contract is fines, which add 25 increments of $25 per ton, depending on the degree of contamination, if you will. And what we find in curbside pickup is not checked over very well. They don't have time to check it that well. And we're just afraid that's gonna add more cost to our recycling. Right now, we take pride in the recycling, so anything more than a yard, we don't have a chance to really pick through and make sure that it doesn't have the contaminants such as food, clothes, electronics, things that just aren't recyclable in zero sort. So this is just to add on to that right there, onto the codes, to so that we don't get that compacting material. They can bring it directly to Maine perhaps and pay them those fines if they choose to go.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Hi, Denise Tepler, 13 Home Place. I'm also the Senate Chair of the Environment and Natural Resources Committee in the state legislature. And I just want to tell you all that the EPR program, Extended Producer Responsibility Program for packaging, will begin in January 2026. And along with that, there should be some monies for municipal recycling that should help our town find some better ways even to recycle.
Thank you. Would anyone else care to address this article? Being done, we now vote on this article. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? 14 passes.
Mr. Moderator.
Yes.
Ed Karen, again, 56 Karen's Corner. Articles 15 through 25 are mostly housekeeping, are all housekeeping actually. And I would like to move that we vote on Articles 15 through 25, I believe it is, as a package.
Okay, just to be clear, it is 15 through 25. Okay.
Right.
It's been moved, there's a second. So here's the question. If you want me to, I will read through all those articles and then we'll vote on them as a block, or we can vote on them as a block without me reading them. Your call. Who wants me to read them all? Been moved in a second. Does anyone have any comments to address any of the articles between 15 and 25? Okay, let's vote on articles 15 to 25. All those in favor, please raise your cards. Those opposed? 15 to 25. Passed. So thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting city day. And move, is there a second? Moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning city day, please raise your cards. It's your last chance. All opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.